Finance Commission. And Redondo Beach. Can we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Commissioner Marin?
Here.
Commissioner Justy?
Here.
Commissioner Sherbin?
Here.
Commissioner Ramcharan, absent. Commissioner Woodham, absent. Commissioner Turner?
Here.
Chair Allen?
Here. Oh, so do I need to start over again because
okay.
my beginning did not record? Okay.
you're okay. Go ahead.
Okay, here. Please rise for the salute of the flag. It's right behind you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Next item on the list. Approve or order of the agenda. Do we need to move anything around or can we approve the agenda the way it is? Motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Any second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? None. Motion carried. Next item, blue folder items, additional backup materials. Do we have any blue folder items?
We do not have any blue folder items for today.
Thank you. We'll move to EF, consent calendar. Would anybody, are we, so I do want to ask a question. So for the minutes, it says regular meeting of the Redondo Beach Public Safety Commission. So if you want to approve with that correction, we can probably do that. I have not reviewed because, well, I was not here last time, so I'm going to abstain. And then you'll be abstaining too, so three of you, well, if you approve. Do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Motion to approve.
And second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, you know, we probably want to do a roll call vote on this one because there are a couple people who are not going to. Yeah, let's do that.
That's fine.
Can we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Commissioner Marin?
Aye.
Commissioner Justy?
Aye.
Commissioner Sherbin?
Here.
Commissioner Ramcharan, absent. Commissioner Woodham, absent. Commissioner Turner?
Here.
Chair Allen?
I'm going to abstain because I was not here. I can't approve when I was not here. All right. Credit consent item, where am I? Approved agenda. Item EFG, excluded consent calendar items. Are there any excluded? I don't think there are. Is there public participation on non-agenda items? Oh, thank you. Oh, we have one person. Jim Miller, would you like to address now? Yes. Okay, thank you.
Good evening. I think we have a new commissioner. Is that correct? Congratulations. On
Thank
your
you.
seat. I appear regularly at these meetings because budget and finance is a key concern of the city. The prior commission's agenda, when I say prior commissions, I was under the impression that you're going to have a new chair and that's what the agenda said, but maybe not. Anyway, the prior agenda had two items I recommend putting back on. One was determining and analyzing the financing and costs of the award-winning homeless program. Your predecessors asked, and again, excuse the language, asked the finance director for this, but the report came as they were winding up their tenure. Discussed at last Tuesday night's council meeting was the importance of making sure homeless program is sustained. The mayor stated, it behooves us to get a sources and uses of funds so we can understand where we are. And I'm sure you all agree. The general fund can't support the program alone. There's a whole complex of state, county, and private grants for an array of purposes. Each grant request must be reported with its own associated expenditures. The prior commission, excuse me again, accepted the spreadsheet template I designed for that purpose, which I am submitting to you again for receive and file. The administrative report in the council agenda packet gave a clue to a problem and an opportunity. It was in a footnote. It said, it should be noted that there's a substantial amount of unaccounted staff time dedicated to the administration of the city's homeless programs. Staff is in nearly every city department is involved in the city's program efforts. If these hours can be identified, then additional grant money may be available to cover them. So I appeal to you to put this homeless project back on the agenda. The second agenda item was to review and analyze procurement of professional services. The costs are significant, about 10 to 12% of the total. The finance director gave me the city's current procurement procedures. They are dated 2011. They may need an update. The municipal code, for example, excludes professional services from competitive bidding, but isn't the intent only for services truly unique? For example, there are attorneys who are so skilled and specialized in a certain type of matter that they are truly a sole source. But there are other services that are mundane. Both are professionals, but should they be treated as so unique that they don't have competition to get them? The procurement habits seem to be costing the city significant amounts of money. They could be better used for other purposes. So I recommend both items be restored to the agenda. And if you wish, could you receive and file the spreadsheet that I submitted before, but I'll be happy to submit it.
Thank you. We can discuss to putting these on the agenda when we get to item K.
Okay, thank you.
Item H1, are there any e-comments or emails received from the public?
There are no e-comments and there are no participants on Zoom.
I think next would be to FGH. Emails received. All right, next item is item I1, reserves budget concerns. Whose reserves and budget concerns? Whose item was this?
Sorry, this is the item that we'd placed on the agenda for Commissioner Yesti to discuss his letter that he had sent.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
So
Commissioner Jesti, you can't take the lead on this. So this is the item that you had a letter that you sent, we never got to discuss. You had a few items that you wanted to discuss about budget and.
I had sent a letter to the mayor, Light, and I mentioned that the deficit in the budget and the use of pension funds to finance the budget is one of the most irresponsible things that we can do. And I think that is something that needs to be addressed. The mayor, in his response, he did not address that issue. And I think it is extremely critical that until now, we had always balanced the budget, and this time we have a huge deficit. And there are many items in the capital improvement that could be delayed until we have enough revenues, but that was not done. Everything has been included. So the items on the wish list are also part of the budget, and it seems that there is not as much concern for the deficit, and the way it is financed is certainly not the right way to do it. So I've expressed my concerns and my objection to it, And I haven't gotten any feedback either from the mayor or the city council or city manager or finance director. So I'd like to get some idea of what the status is, and maybe we can review it on a quarterly basis and see if there is any way we can avoid dipping into pension funds to balance the budget. That's all I have to say.
So you want to get ideas how we should communicate?
Yeah, I think there needs to be some explanation, some comments from the city manager and also from finance director on why they have decided to take this route, and if there are any other opportunities for deferring the cost, if not eliminating it, to finance the budget instead of dipping into reserves.
Do we, just pardon me, just on the mechanics, do we need to compose a letter again, inquiring about the questions that you rose, or you drew from in your prior letter? And
Well, that letter was written as a private citizen, as a taxpayer, not as a commissioner. But I did mention that this is coming from me as a taxpayer. However, I am on the Budget and Finance Commission. So that way, it's not a surprise for him.
Or to your point, do we want to agendize this for the next meeting and invite the city manager to
We
talk
can
about?
simply,
Because I guess, because again, the last time I saw the budget, it was balanced. So I'm not sure how big the deficit has gotten or what additional CIP projects got added.
So I can just make a few clarifying or a few responsive comments to this. I think the deficit that you're referring to is that to balance the budget this year, which the budget is balanced, the city manager recommended and council approved making a one-time use of our CalPERS reserve funds. This is a reserve fund that the city had set aside specifically for this purpose. So we recognize that, the city paid off its pension debt in 2021. We recognize there were going to be pension bills due in the future. And when we had some one-time funds, council voted to put those aside, and that's what made up our CalPERS reserve fund. So when we're looking at the budget this year, what the city manager has said and said to this commission is we consider this somewhat of a bridge year. Again, we were able to fund part of that approximately $3.5 million payment just with ongoing revenues. We did pull some funds from the CalPERS reserve fund to balance that, to make up for our ongoing revenues. And the few items that he mentions are, one, our transient occupancy tax. This is below where we'd expect it to be, primarily due to our hotel properties that we have our tax pledge with. So we're not receiving TOT from those properties at the moment. We do anticipate receiving those in the future. So that's a kind of temporary drop in our revenues. And we've also in the past, I guess, 22, 23, 24, have been able to do some capital spending that was long delayed. So we're kind of seeing this as a balancing out. We have challenges with transient occupancy tax. We may see some flattening in our sales tax. And for this reason, city manager recommends this as a one-time use of funds. He is very aware, I am very aware, the city council is very aware that this is not a sustainable situation. We do not want to be here for the 26-27 budget, again, pulling into our CalPERS reserve fund. So the city manager and I are looking at this very closely. If revenues are not trending well, if certain things aren't coming out as anticipated, we may be coming with recommendations to council to pull back on some items, to address the concern that you're mentioning. So I'll just say, for the city manager and myself, I don't think that using those funds this year is a decision that he took lightly. He's very aware of the issues. I think about the issues daily. So, any specific questions, I'm happy to answer. Mike is happy to answer. I don't know that he needs to come and appear. I think we can, probably work that out. As far as writing a letter to council, that's up to the commission to decide. That serves a slightly different purpose than asking for more information from Mike and me, because we're happy to just give that to you. But, you know, if you want to express those concerns again specifically from the commission to the council, that is definitely an option. I don't know if I answered all the questions.
Well, awareness and action are two completely different things.
I'm sorry?
Actions speak louder than words. So you can make a political statement saying we are all aware of it, we're concerned, we don't like it, and you go ahead and do it anyway. That's not responsible.
So I'll just say that the time that we would make actions on this would be the next time would be in our mid-year review, our mid-year budget review. So at that point, we look at where revenues are, we look at where spending is, and then the city manager will recommend to council, make some cuts, or we're doing fine, set money aside. So that's where you'll see action, is when we're actually taking action on the budget.
In the report that Easy Reader had on the council meeting, it mentioned several items. Councilwoman Page had mentioned that they could be deferred. And even then, she went ahead and voted unanimously to approve the budget. So those are the items that I was hoping somebody else would at least take a serious look at it and see if we need to spend the money. If you don't have money, you don't spend it. As simple as that. And we're not doing it. We're just dipping into pension reserves. So that's the least desirable option. And we should not even think about it, but we're doing it anyway. So.
Well, and again, that's the council member's decision. You know, that's, the city manager proposes the budget, and the council members review, and they make the decisions on where to use the city's resources.
So what is our responsibility here? What are we supposed to do? Simply just talk about it and then let go?
Well, no, I'm not telling you to not do anything. Your responsibility, according to according to your charter, is to track revenues and expenses and advise the city council. So I think it is 100% in your role to be concerned about these things, to review them, and to advise city council accordingly.
Just a quick one. Could we ask the finance department to update us a little bit more on a more current basis rather than waiting for the half year with
Yes.
respect to those trends that we're concerned about?
Yes.
Where you anticipated the revenue level to be, where it is, and then that could be a driver for us to indicate to the council that we really need to take some action on some of these items that are arbitrary, let's say.
That's a great idea. That's exactly what other cities do.
Mm-hmm.
But what's important, because last budget that we saw, it did not have enough information. It was very high level, so we couldn't really analyze it. So it's important that we have detailed, so when we make a motion and what we're going to ask, it's important to.
Yeah, I would love to see some trend lines on what you anticipated some of the revenues, like the transit occupancy tax and the sales tax, because I think no one really knows where we're heading on some of those things.
Right.
They're highly volatile, they're reliant on tourism, and
Unpredictable.
they're unpredictable.
It's very
So
unpredictable.
Perhaps we could increase the frequency that's reviewed, and maybe that's something that finance could provide to the council, to the commission, and then that would be a driver for us to know what our next step would be.
So you'll have a good opportunity to do that when we bring you the final report of 24-25, which is going to tell us a lot. I don't have those numbers for you yet because we're working on some issues with reconciliation. We want to make sure our numbers are accurate for you. But that will be a really good opportunity for you to take a look at that. And at that point, we'll have our first few months of this fiscal year as well.
When do you anticipate having those numbers kind of put together? Will that be at the next meeting or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first quarter is already over. By the time we meet next month, 1/3 of the year will be gone. So it might be a good idea to review the status.
Will it be the
at that
quarterly
time.
report?
Yes. So yes, it'll be the quarterly report
So
next
the
time.
quarterly report is going to compare what
So, it-
Quarter was the previous year,
exactly.
and then what we have remaining.
Yes. And the quarter, as I think we discussed the last time we looked at this report, the prior quarter is a good indication of that, and that would track closely with what we anticipate, at least in a percentage terms, of seeing at that point in the year.
So when you say prior quarter, you mean the prior
Sorry, I mean
year's
the,
quarter? Okay.
yes, I mean the same quarter in the prior fiscal
Okay.
year.
Okay,
And that takes into consideration the seasonality of the particular.
Exactly, because if you just look at the percentage received and divide by 12, it's
That
gonna-
doesn't work for some of
does
us.
not, no.
Okay. We understand. Thank you.
yes.
Commissioner Jesse, I think if we receive those reports on quarterly basis, we'll be able to track. So by the time they get to the budget point, we'll be able to see if they're going to go and dig more into the reserves or not,
I
right?
would like to propose that we go on record as having expressed our concern and asking for a status update every quarter, if not every month.
So our motion will be exactly that then. Well,
Yeah.
somebody will make a motion that we receive quarterly reports and which will compare to the previous year's quarter. And also we'll have a column that has the total.
And actuals,
And
actuals versus projection
Yeah.
for that particular timeframe.
Yes, and
And then what's remaining.
I was going to say what I can do, because this is the report that we had been sharing with you until I decided unilaterally to change it, which turns out it's not a great idea. So I can share with you the previous version with the greater level of detail and give you the opportunity to ask for additional, less, different, because I think it has some repetition in there. But I can share that with you, and you can let me know if that meets what you're looking for. I think that it does.
That report, the only thing it did not include that needed to be added was the departments, individual departments.
Yes,
If
so I
recall
did
correctly.
add in the last time I added the
But then you removed
expenditures
that, so
by
you can combine
department.
those two together.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. Will that work?
I
Will
think,
that
yeah, well, let's give it a
help
try.
out a little bit?
Yeah.
That at least, because we can't do anything about the past, but we can start tracking the
Tracking,
future,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, did you, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Did you want to share the letter that you wrote to the mayor and the mayor's letter back?
Yeah, I think we can
So
add that to our,
Oh, do you want to do it now? Do you want to share it now? 'Cause it was attached. I'm just asking.
yeah, I don't know if you have the copy of it.
They can put it on the, it was attached, they can put it on the screen. Can you put the letter on the screen? It's,
if you put it on my screen, I've pulled it up.
Thank you.
if you click on the links, it's there. It's on the agenda.
Video.
So and as a commission, we wrote a letter to council, so they also have that. And I met with the mayor.
It's page one.
So I think we have done, at this point, we have done all we can. And if we ask to have quarterly periodic updates, I mean, that, I don't know what else the commission can do.
Where's page one? I see page two here. Okay. Yeah, okay. If we want to go through that, that's,
That's up to you.
Yeah.
It's your letter, whatever you would like.
well, basically it says the same thing that I have just talked about. And I mentioned 5 points on page 2. Those, in my opinion, are the highest priorities: balance the budget, capital improvement projects, no transparency or accountability. And I think since then, Stephanie has given us a pretty detailed spreadsheet, and I appreciate your help and your efforts in generating it. Took us almost 2 years to get that. And I did some rough analysis, and I have some questions. And Stephanie pointed out to me that that's not on the agenda this time. Maybe we can discuss it next time. Because I see I have some serious concerns about some of the things that I can deduce from the information that we have. So we need to go a little bit deeper than we have ever done in the past about the capital improvement projects, budgets and expenditures. Homelessness, I think we have made some progress and we're getting much more information now. Housing affordability is something that there is not much we or even the mayor can do because that is being dictated by the state, and even previous mayor Brand, he said it's all about the contractors who are influencing some of the decisions that are being made, and even he felt hopeless. So again, that's where the awareness really comes in handy. The only thing we can do is be aware of what's going on. And emergency reserves, we had talked about that several times in the last 3-4 months, that we don't have enough, only 1 month, and we suggested increasing that to at least 2 months. And the mayor indicated in his response that that was voted down by the city council. So while we are dipping into the reserves, we are also not interested in increasing it, which is two things that are of great concern to me. So please read the entire letter, and I think mayor's response, I don't know if it is included or not. Yeah, that's his response. I had also mentioned something about the city of Fort Wayne that I have discussed many times in the past 3 months, and he did not address that issue at all. If you're not seen it before, I suggest my fellow commissioners, if we can read both the letters, and then maybe we can discuss that next time.
Anything else we need to discuss on
Just
this item?
thought that maybe each one of us on our own can take a look at some of the capital expenses that are planned for, or the CIP, I guess, planned for this next cycle. And if there's some things that we feel might be questionable, we might highlight those in addition to that. One, I don't want to pick on any one specific thing, but I will mention the $15 million or whatever it is firing range might, as an example of something, might be something that we might question, in as much as there's about $1 million or $1.5 million worth of proposal costs that would not be recoverable even if we don't go forward with the project. So something like that might be deferred anyway, as an example, until we're on firmer ground with respect to our projections versus actuals on our trending revenues. And then identify those items. We can maybe bring those back to discuss next week, or pardon me, next meeting. And then if we feel that the next step for us would be to prepare something to send to council, then perhaps we could do it at that point and make a point that Commissioner Jesty is also emphasizing. If that sounds like something we can all do. Very good.
Ready to make a motion?
Yeah, yes.
So the motion would
Okay,
be.
yeah.
I'll let you do it.
Pardon me, I was just going to say that that the commissioners will each take it upon themselves to bring some items for discussion in our next meeting related to contingency plans if the projected revenue falls short of what we're anticipating, that we could fall back and eliminate or moderate some of the items that are identified as.
Also, you want us to identify items that we can recommend council to defer to another year.
Yes, I think.
Or I mean,
Yes.
again, I would
That's
also
too-
maybe even defer to the city managers as well.
Yeah,
To say,
whoever.
when we're talking about the trending and tracking at the quarterly or even at the half year, do you have a list of what projects can be deferred or what revenue or what costs can be deferred if we're not on, on trend of where we're hoping to be? So we can do it as well, but I think you and the city manager probably have the best insight into what has the flexibility to be deferred.
Yep, so you're talking about more broadly than the list of capital. Are you talking about the capital projects or just globally?
Probably both.
Yeah.
If there's ability to have flexibility or, deferment on either category, I think it's worthwhile to know what those contingency plans would
Yep.
be if we're falling short.
And the vast majority, at least of our new capital spending, is actually grant funded.
Yeah.
There are sometimes challenges with that as well, as we generally we have to spend that up front before we get reimbursed. And so, that's something we can look at. But as far as, items to defer, the highest cost items are probably grant funded. So not as much of an issue. But I think that's a great point, and we can prepare something for you on items that we could potentially consider deferring.
So I think if they're grant funded, I don't think that's the concern. I think
It's
more
not, yeah.
if it's our hard dollars that we're spending.
Good. Well, I think that gives us some tools here and a method to go ahead and express our concerns to council or to the city manager.
So what is the motion? What do we do with this item?
Does anybody want to take a shot at consolidating that into a sentence or two?
Not them, you.
No, no, I'm happy, I think that the commissioners will each individually identify those items that they would like to consider as being expendable if the trending revenues fall short of our projections.
I think that's above and beyond our,
I don't think we can pick and choose.
that's
We
really
can
not up to
only-
us, that's council's job. I don't think.
If we identify, we can always recommend
we
to
need to stick
council.
to
Yeah,
numbers. Yeah, we need to stick to figures, not actual plans, what council wants. That's something we can't get involved in. That's something council does.
So the way you worded it, it sounded like you were asking us to develop a list of prioritization of some of the items?
Well, there's some items, let's say, that are being under consideration that have more or less, I don't want to say practical, but each person probably has a different feeling for some of those items.
Right.
And in terms of the value. And some which look like they could be deferred without any major impact, some that require additional, like that firing range that requires additional of a proposal that's not going to be funded, those types of things.
That's overstepping for me. We're not elected, so we should not.
Well, I don't know if it's an opinion that we can make or not make. It's up to them to kind of, we're not making any determination. We're just saying, I think that.
I'm personally not
Okay.
comfortable with it.
I'm not sure if
That's-
even-
If you want to
yeah.
vote, that's okay,
I'm
but
not
I'm not.
entirely sure it even needs a motion. Like, again, I think we should be doing this in general.
That's part
And
of
then
our.
when we do the budgetary review,
Yeah,
I
that's
think at
not-
next month's meeting and talk about whether we're trending or not, bring up like, where is there flex, if we're on trend or above, then things are great. If we think we're below, talking with Mike and you as well as yourself to say, where are these opportunities to try to find some savings? And based on our research, we can have a more robust discussion. I don't know if we necessarily, if it's gonna be agendized for next meeting anyway, I think it's good that we do this research regardless, but I don't know if we have to make a motion regarding it, if that makes sense.
Well put, thank you.
So I just made an anti-motion.
You're a true politician.
There you go.
So
So we're just taking it upon ourselves to just become a little bit more educated on,
The budget and some of the capital expenditures, yeah,
great, thank you for clarifying.
I think.
Is there a motion on table for this item? So we
Or you just
can
want to
the-
close, or if there's any comments?
Oh, comments on this item? Public comments?
We have no attendees on Zoom, and there are no e-comments.
Thank you for
One
reminding
speaker.
me.
Public comment?
Do have
Public
one
comment?
speaker, yes.
Good evening, Commissioners. Eugene Solomon, speaking to you tonight as a District 1 resident, not in any official capacity, just as a resident here tonight. Commissioner Justy, thank you for bringing up the topic. I think you've got two different topics that you're talking about, essentially. One is, do you want to go back to the council and ask about reserves and increasing reserves? And the second is budgeting itself. May want to look in the future as to recommendations about how we budget. Do we want to do zero-based budgeting? Do you look at things on a cash basis or an accrual basis? There are different ways of looking at it, both in the public sector and the private sector, how all of that is being done. I think the finance director makes a good point for you. When you look at the capital improvement project, you're going to find projects that are in their nascent stage, very early, and have money set aside, but have not yet begun design, let's say. And then you might have projects that are in the middle of design and going to be built or nearing completion. So in that, when you're reviewing the types of projects, that'll be something to consider as well. Also segmenting them, as the finance director talked about, into those projects that are funded by grants. So we have our core budget, our general fund budget and core budget, and then we receive all these grant monies from Measure M, Measure A. A lot of them are targeted. They're only allowed to be spent in certain areas. PEG fees that are charged on cell phone bills are only being used for very specific purposes. Measure A funds can only be used for very specific purposes. Measure M and so on. So when you're looking at capital improvement, when you're looking at some of the grant funding, when you're looking at those things being used together with our own money, then look to see within those projects, some of them may not be able to be spent in certain areas. Some of those projects we're partnering with other municipalities, with other agencies. We might be partnering with Torrance, we might be partnering with Manhattan Beach, we might be partnering with Hermosa Beach. So there are many different layers to that. I would suggest that when you look at capital improvement, the funding of capital improvement, you consider some of those different things in reviewing the topic and making suggestions. The last thing I would say would be, I encourage everyone, as I did and have done and still do, just beyond even here, sending a letter from the commission, email your council members. Email Councilmember Barrett, it's very responsive. Councilmember Kalajerovich, very responsive. Councilmember Obaji, very responsive. Castle, all of them. So that also, I think, can help get some of these topics before the city council. I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we close this item? Do we revisit? Do we bring it back for next time? If we do, what will we discuss?
We can go over my issues and comments that I made to the mayor. Maybe we can discuss.
We can do, I thought that's what we were going to do today.
Well, I want to make sure every commissioner has a chance to read both the letters before we discuss it. Since we have new Commissioner Turner, so we may want to wait till we bring him up to date, and then also hopefully next time both the missing commissioners will be here. So if we can add it to the next month's agenda, I would prefer we do.
I'll let the commission make a motion and let's go from there.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to have that added.
I would second it. Yeah.
Everyone in favor?
Or do you want to do-
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No, motion carried. Next item is nominations and election of chairperson and vice chair. So this is something I think they had to put on the agenda because it's done every October. Last year in October, it was Commissioner Sherman.
Uh-huh.
And then you served 2 months, and then you asked me to take over, so I've taken over 10 months. I guess today we can, I'll ask for a motion that I'll do the other remaining 2 months, and then, so I'll have a year, and then Commissioner Sherbin will take over his remaining 10 months. That would be maybe cleaner.
Or Commissioner Sherman, do you want?
Yeah, no,
Because
I
the last time you
think
stepped on.
my intent at the time was to decline the honorable position of
Temporary.
chairperson
Just for,
because of my commitments to other things. So I'm in the same situation now. I would be happy to, support, but not to be the chair itself. So I think what we would have an election, whether
Oh.
it
A
happens
nomination,
tonight
yeah.
or whether it happens subsequently after the full term. I don't know what the parliamentary procedure is for that, but either one, I would not be a candidate for the chair position.
so I know the procedure says no more than 2 years. It doesn't have a minimum.
I think it's just been typically a year, and then we
A
kind of
year.
rotate,
Yeah,
just so that
yeah.
everyone kind of
Everyone
gets an
gets a chance.
opportunity to kind of
So,
serve in that capacity.
so can we bring this back in 2 months and vote for a new one?
Or I definitely would think maybe even like at least next month, just because we're missing 2 other people. It'd be good to have, a full quorum, but I'm open to that.
Okay, let's bring this item back. When did I start? I know it was 10, I think it was 10 months,
That sounds right.
yeah. Because I think you were
I think I
2
was
months.
2 months. I think
So,
I chaired it.
So do we want to make a motion, or is it okay to make a motion to bring this
I
back
don't-
to the next,
Yep,
to the
let's
next
do that
meeting?
then.
Definitely.
We can discuss it then. To see, because again, it'd be good to see who else is open to taking on that leadership role.
And then I'll confirm how long I've been.
Okay.
We can help you with that.
What's that?
I said, we can help you confirm that. I'm sure we have a record.
All right, motion to bring, anyone wants to make a motion, a second?
Motion to bring this item back for next month's meeting.
Anyone second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None, motion carried. Next item is the CalPERS valuation update. And I think Stephanie, Finance Director, has this.
Yes, that's correct. Can you switch to my screen, please? So I wanted to provide the commission with a little mini update on our CalPERS valuation. We did receive our new results. If you'll remember, so I'll just go through this slide deck. This is not to take the place of our kind of in-depth CalPERS meeting that the commission is used to having every year. I did reach out to CalPERS about that. They let me know that generally they schedule those and make someone available every 2 years. We've somehow gotten away with having it every year. I did talk to our actuary, and he said that he's happy to work with me using their pension forecasting tool to build some scenarios that we can then share with the commission. And depending on specifically what the commission's interested in seeing on the investment side, I can work to get that information in advance as well. I'll continue to reach out and see if I, am able to get traction in bringing someone over, but that was my initial response that I've heard. But I did want to bring this up to just let the commission know where we are since we got our new valuation. So just as a reminder, we're always working in 3 different fiscal years here. It's very confusing. So we got a report in, a few months ago, but it's dated July of 25. It uses the data for our fiscal year ending in 23-24, and this sets rates and payments for our next budget year. The reason for the lapse in timing, they use the prior year data just to make sure that they're able to complete all adjustments, include all necessary reconciliation to get the numbers accurate. The reason that they use this data for 2 years in advance is to give cities additional time to plan for the change. So as we've seen in our city, frequently the valuation comes out, it's a much higher number than you're expecting, and this is to give cities time to plan for how to fund that higher number. So we have some mixed results here. Our total UAL's unfunded accrued liability, our total UAL and funded levels improved actually by a good amount. Our employer normal cost, which is the percent we pay, percent of payroll that we pay on pension costs, decreased for a third consecutive year. Our 26-27 payment is almost exactly the same as our current year. So that's, I think we were hoping for a better improvement in that, but I'll walk you through what that's related to. So this is a summary of our unfunded accrued liability. These numbers should look familiar to you. So this combines, if you'll note, our miscellaneous and safety plans. So you can see this year our combined unfunded liability actually decreased by around 12%, or 7.1 million. And just to remind the commission, this improvement is related to the, I think it's 2 years ago now, the returns that were just, it was 9.6, I believe, 9.6%, which is above their target 6.8%, but not as good as last year. So we should anticipate seeing a similar, if not better, change to our valuation in the following year. But this is the first year that recognizes that good investment year and that impact on our unfunded liability. As a result, our unfunded level went up. Our miscellaneous plan is at 96.3%, which is really excellent. I'm not even sure if ideally we'd want it to be higher, given we'd, expose more of our assets to risk. But again, even combined, this is a very, very healthy level for us to be funded at. A normal cost, as I mentioned, the cost of pensionable payroll in both plans has decreased for a third straight year. In CalPERS projections, they do anticipate seeing this on the same kind of continual slow decline. And a lot of this is the impact of increasing PEPRA or Tier 3 membership in our city employees. So this is also good news for the city. Now for the, not so amazing news is the impact on unfunded liability payment is not there yet. So this year we're paying 4.3 million. Next year we will again be paying, in 26-27, we'll again be paying 4.3 million. So if you'll notice our miscellaneous plan, actually the payment decreased, and overall it's just about a 1% increase. So I wanted to go into a little bit of detail about our unfunded liability payment. I mean, my first reaction on seeing this is also, why doesn't our payment look better, given the rest of our results look better? So the first thing to remember is that, okay, so I realize this is, I could have stated this a little better. So to talk about how we get to this unfunded liability payment, I want to explain how it's built. So our unfunded liability payment is the sum of what they call amortization basis, which is each year's investment and non-investment experience. So CalPERS figures out what happens each year to its investments, and each year how our city employee pay, longevity, and all those other factors compare to their assumptions. And the result of that will add or subtract from our liability. But each year is its own experience and is amortized over 20 years. So we have investment and non-investment experience. Each are amortized over 20 years. Investment gains and losses are ramped in over 5 years. So the first year of a big loss, the payment will only reflect 20% of what that actual annual cost would be. So they ramp up to 100%, and then that continues through the rest. There's no ramp down. So each year's unfunded liability payment is the sum of each one of those prior year experiences. So 1 year, year investment, non-investment, it's year 1. The next year, you're going to see that in year 2, year 3, year 4, all the way up to year 20 when it's going to drop off. So what you can see here in the super fun chart, which I actually really love from our valuation, is the impact of these on our total payment. So what you can see really clearly here is CalPERS' very, very bad investment year, this minus 6.1%, that contributed almost all of what we are paying today. So if you look if you look at here, this is about 12.8 million. So here's our balance, there's some expected payments. Here's our balance. So the minimum payment required is related to this balance. You can see, there are other smaller items in here related to investment gain loss, non-investment gain loss for other years, but this is obviously, the largest contributing factor. You can also say here, this, the negative number is a positive, a benefit for us, it's good. This is the impact of our 9.3% return. So we actually had a $6 million gain for the city related to that investment return. So this just adds up the result of each one of those experiences to get to our total payment due. And this is just our miscellaneous plan. Again, you can see the same thing for our safety plan. It's the same except the numbers are significantly larger on both sides. So you'll see again, the result of this minus 6.1% return year added $32 million to our unfunded liability. The other thing that I'll point out here that's important to note are the ramps. So you'll see our really high number here. This is at 60%. So we actually still have 2 years of this number getting larger because it'll ramp up to 100% and then stay at that level. However, if you'll see here, the positive impact of our recent investment gain is only at 20%. So again, similar to how they ramp in the losses, they'll ramp in the gains. So we'll just continue to see in our payments the impact of all of these as they kind of cycle through the amortization period with whatever our next year's experience is added on. So I also updated this table that I've shared with the commission before to include our most recent numbers. Again, Commissioner Woodham and others helped create this as a way for us to kind of associate the investment returns and the changes to our unfunded liability. So we'll just continue to add to this. So we see here, so this is our improvement in unfunded liability. This builds in our investment return. Although I will point out, the investment return makes a huge difference. It is not the only part of our unfunded liability, so we have to consider the non-investment side as well. But I just highlighted a few years here. Again, obviously, the big number is here, this minus 6.1%. The increase decrease here is a little weird because we don't get to show our zero, which was really wonderful for a minute. But this is essentially, 0 to 45 million. It's probably even bigger because we were overfunded at a brief period of time. This is our huge number. And then here we can see, a decrease. And this is, sorry, I missed this year, but this is a smaller increase related to a smaller falling short of the target investment return. I also added the 24-25 most recent investment return. It's 11.6%. That is great, over our 6.8% target rate. We're going to see that impact on our valuation that we will get next summer, and it will set our rates for 27-28. So our future outlook, I think, likely, and I talked to our actuary about this as well. I discussed the reports with him in detail. We're likely to see pretty steady unfunded liability payment, at least for the next few years, as again, we see the impact of ramping in our positive, negative and positive returns. I think likely this will trend towards an improvement in our overall, when you sum these up, especially when we add in the better investment year. And since we don't have the opportunity for anything catastrophic in the investment area to affect us for a few years, we should at least see kind of a steady few years. We would just have to see what our non-investment experience looks like. So at least the next 2 to 5 years likely to stay roughly the same. Other factors I just pointed out here, we do have an increasing PEPRA enrollment, so we have 3 tiers. Our classic tier is our has our most generous benefits. We have a tier 2, and then we have the third tier, the PEPRA, which is significantly less costly for the city. Another item I'll point out is CalPERS is currently undergoing their asset liability management review. This is where they will review globally their investment strategy, and the investment committee proposes changes to the board. On the actuarial side, they also review all their actuarial assumptions and propose changes to the board. So that is in process now. The board met in closed session in September, and I believe they will consider it at their November open board meeting. There is a public link, a stakeholder link to that board meeting that I'll send to the group if anyone's interested in, joining in and hearing about the impact of the changes that they recommend for cities. And I just wanted to share something about the PEPRA transition because we've talked about this. So again, our balance is gradually shifting towards PEPRA. We're at 63.2%. We're at 60.2% of members in miscellaneous and a little below that in safety. Again, you can kind of see the impact on covered payroll. I think an interesting is that last one, the percentage of accrued liabilities that our PEPRA members represent. I mean, this makes sense. Usually, they're newer members. PEPRA didn't even come into being until I think 2013, 2014. 2013. But again, this is, I would think this would mean that as we continue to increase the proportion of our PEPRA membership, those employees may represent less of a long-term liability for the city. But again, the CalPERS does provide us pretty interesting information on this, so I'll continue to share it with the commission. So next steps, we will have another whole session to discuss CalPERS in detail with or without a CalPERS representative. Again, I'll continue to reach out and see if I can get someone to come. But for the commission, if you'd like to put this on, I guess maybe it'd be next meeting, if you want to think about any, specific questions you have, any charts you want to see, any graphs you want to see, any specific investment-related questions, so we can gather the information, because we usually have your pension-focused meeting in December. And then, as I mentioned, this presentation will include some projections that we can create through the pension tool. And there we can play with the investment returns, but also plan experience and some other items to give an idea of some things that could happen. So that's it.
Thank you. Any questions, comments, or motion? Nope.
Oh, and I also did include the full valuation reports if anyone is feeling really tired at night and wants to go to sleep. But they do have a lot of very, very detailed, pretty interesting information. And if anyone's super interested, please send me an email and we can have a discussion about it.
Is there a motion to accept and file?
So moved.
Second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And opposed? None. Motion carried.
Oh, we do need to check for public comment.
Are there any public comments?
There are no e-comments and there are no participants on Zoom.
Are there any? No. All right, thank you. And we are on item K, commission member items and future commission agenda topics. So this is when, as a commission, so what I've been told, and it's done differently than other agencies I know because our handbook is different. It's not required by Brown Act or by our bylaws, but there is a handbook that city has, and they require that we as a commission put the topics on the agenda during the previous meeting. So we all have to, well, majority agrees. So we need to let staff know what to place on the agenda. The first I have is the quarterly update from staff. So I have a details as discussed quarterly update. And then I think do we want to bring, there are some items, I don't know why they were removed from the previous meetings. Because I was told when I came late that they were going to be discussed at the next meeting, but they were not on the agenda. So maybe, let's see if we want to bring that back.
Which items or which topics are you?
I think it was the professional services procurement. Did anyone want to bring that back?
We can bring that, because I know that was.
think
that was
we
a
had-
point of
Yeah, okay.
discussion earlier today.
So all agree? Do we need to formally vote? Or I can list them and then we can all vote, or we can pull an item. And then there was the building maintenance update. Do we want to bring that, or we're good with that one? Or is the capital one we want to bring back? Capital improvements?
Yeah, that's gonna be.
The capital improvements? We don't need the building maintenance update, right? Okay. That's what I meant to write, capital improvement. Because I know Commissioner Jesse made some calculations, but we couldn't discuss because it was not on the agenda. So if we can add all that, attach all that, I don't know, staff, I don't know who does it, attach it to the agenda. Anything else? Oh, I do want to discuss our April meeting time, and we can't discuss now. So I want to put it on the agenda to discuss so that we change, because there's a spring break and some of us are parents, and I want to discuss changing the date officially for April to a different date that does not align with City of Redondo Beach District spring schedule.
Too far down the road.
So yeah, but I want to have it on the agenda so we discuss and vote, and then, if we say no, I never bring this up. If we say yes, then it's on a calendar. Anything else that,
I know Stephanie mentioned or alluded to, like, again, do we want to bring CalPERS up again next meeting more to have questions prepared for the December meeting around CalPERS? We may just want to, spend this next month thinking about what questions we may have that we would want answered for the December meeting. So we may want to agendize CalPERS one more time.
okay, so the CalPERS, I think they're right, and then I don't know, is the city clerk going to be here next month to discuss the handbook or give us an update on handbook?
So we'll discuss with her. I think she's still waiting to get a couple things finalized. When I talked to her, she said probably November or December. But we can discuss that. Yep.
Okay, so we don't need to, well, the part I would like to ask for staff is that if we have a new commissioner joining, maybe let us know as a commission that we have a new member. I mean, the same happened with the previous member. I'd like, if city clerk does not communicate that to staff, maybe I'd like to ask her to communicate to staff and to the commissioners. And if there's going to be absences, if you can communicate again to us, just so we're aware of who's going to be here, who's not. It's common courtesy to me, but I'd like to ask it in a formal fashion. To
Sorry,
let us
are you
know if there are
asking-
going to be, if someone contacted you and said, we're not going to be at the meeting, send an email to the commission, say, Commissioner Jesse's not going to be at the meeting tomorrow.
I'll check on that. I mean, I guess I don't know of a reason why not. I just know that the protocol that I've seen is just that the members notify the city clerk. So I
Right.
guess I don't
And
really
the
have a
city-
problem with it, but I don't know, do other members want staff to notify the group if you're not going to be there?
So what I would like to ask then to my commissioners if next time I'm not the commissioner and I'm not the chair and the Commissioner Jesse's the chair, if you're going to be absent, maybe also include the chair, so at least the chair knows that you're not going to be here. It's just common courtesy. We have an appointment and someone's not showing up. We tell each other?
Sure.
Okay, I don't do not have anything else unless I forgot, because if we don't decide now, we can add it later. That's the rule Redondo has.
Yeah.
I think that will be all. Oh, we'll vote. Is there a motion to
Or do we have the,
Bring this
do we
to
have the city manager coming to present next month?
No.
Not for the court. But you'll have the report?
Yes, we'll have the quarterly report.
That's the first thing, yeah.
Can I actually just ask one clarifying question? So for all these items, well, I guess specifically for the procurement professional services item and for the capital improvement items, I think we'll have a pretty full agenda next time. In any case, we'll have the city treasurer's quarterly report, we'll have our quarterly report. Would you like to move those potentially to December, or do you want to have them and have a discussion
Have them on the agenda so it doesn't get forgotten. And then if we do not have time to discuss, we'll move it to the next month.
Okay,
Otherwise, it gets lost and we forget. And then I'm going to come to a meeting and say, why didn't they put this on the agenda? So is motion to bring these items, all the items that we just discussed on the agenda for next meeting?
I propose we do.
Is there a second?
Second.
Or, I don't know. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No. Motion carried. Now we did it legally.
And we do actually have a public comment for that item as well.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Yes. I have to remember public comment after each one.
Yeah, I just wanted to
Oh,
remind the
homelessness.
council of the homelessness cost item. I think you should bring it onto your agenda because of the mayor's concern. He feels sources and uses of funds analysis should be made per his quote, which he did at the council meeting, so.
Thank you for the reminder.
Okay.
Well, you guys didn't remember either, and I don't know where did I roll? It's on the next page.
Sorry,
Okay, I put it on the next page. Would you like to add just to the list, and then we won't have time to discuss, and we'll just bring it back?
I guess, can I make a clarifying comment on that item? So we did, I think, 2 meetings ago, bring a homelessness costs and uses, sources and uses summary along with a discussion. The city attorney just did a presentation on homelessness at the council meeting. I guess if this is on a future agenda, what are we specifically addressing?
Because we
I
forwarded
can-
along the
Yeah.
analysis that you did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Along
we
with the
sent-
letters, yeah.
So we gave them
So-
the numbers, very
So I guess,
finance.
what additional are we looking for or hoping to discuss? I think that's the question you're asking.
Yeah, and I'll just say, for the concern that this is somehow going to fall off, I mean, we've already discussed internally with the city attorney's office. Since we have a structure, I mean, it's pretty simple to update moving forward. That's something that we'll work proactively with the city attorney's office on. So, it's definitely on our radar. I think this is something we can bring back, periodically to update. I guess I would just want to be clear if it's coming back,
No, that's
what
a-
are we
that's a
doing in
good-
addition?
That's a good question. That's a good question. So if we bring it back, what will we be achieving? What goal are we trying to achieve by bringing it back?
Did we get some kind of formalized format for the tracking and the reporting and the collection of the data? I think there was a question that I heard to deal with indirect labor at all the department levels. There was a tremendous amount of time, I think, I don't have the exact wording, but there was a tremendous amount of time, it seemed like, was being referred to that was unaccounted for because
Yeah.
there was no mechanism for tracking it.
So I think that's something we can discuss internally, and again, if, that's something important, we can set up the infrastructure to do it. So I think that would be part of our ongoing discussion with the city attorney's office. I think unfortunately you weren't here at our meeting when we presented it, but if you'd like to take another look at the document and the format that we presented it in. If you have specific recommendations, we can also keep those in mind as we continue to update it.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, is there a reason for us to bring it back next month or the following month?
You know, I think I'd
Possible.
be happy to just not bring it forward on the following agenda, but also have the ability to bring it back whenever we wanted to
Okay, so if we don't bring it back next time, then we'll bring it back in December, or maybe have a note that if we forget,
Yeah.
we will bring it back in December, okay. Can I go ahead and end the meeting, adjourn the meeting, or?
Can I just have one moment? So I wanted to introduce the commission formally to Amy Wu. We're very excited for her to join us. She is the new Assistant Finance Director. So excited to have her here. So I just wanted to give her the chance to introduce herself and yeah, tell us a little bit about where she's from.
Okay. Hi, very honored to be here tonight and meeting everyone. Hopefully we can work very well together from now on. And also, I want to introduce myself. I came from CSU, which is my last job. I came from CSU Chancellor's Office, and I was the Director of Financial Reporting there, responsible for the system-wide financial reporting and auditing. I have over 19 years of experience with financial reporting, auditing, and general accounting, also budgeting with the private and the public sectors, including over 10 years with the governmental agencies like cities and special districts. So I'm very excited for my new position and working with Stephanie and the finance team and all the city departments. So I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I didn't know we could do that, so that means, Trent, you can introduce yourself as well.
I had a
Please.
feeling that might have followed. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Trent Turner. This is my first meeting. I'm born and raised in Redondo Beach, so I'm happy to have an opportunity to, give back and have a little bit of a voice in what goes on in our lovely city here. As far as what I do for work, I'm a financial advisor. I have a financial services firm based out of El Segundo. So hopefully we can apply some of my knowledge and expertise and see how I can be of assistance and help.
Thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
Do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
And second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion is adjourned at 7:52.